Hey everyone, so another video on the Fiesta today. Unfortunately had an MOT failure, so I've been going through and replacing some of the parts already, so I apologise about the appearance at the moment. It is roasting hot, but I've just gone through, sort of re-replaced some of the wishbones and bits and pieces I've already done on sort of previous videos, so not much point recording that, but I've got to a point now where I can do a sort of a useful video. So we're going to be doing the tie rods on the Fiesta. So they noted that one side was knocking a bit, so I'm just going to replace both just preemptively. They did say the other one was starting to show signs of wear anyway, so it's not a horrific job, but it's just going to be getting these nuts undone. I think it's going to be sort of the challenge on it. So let's go ahead and have a quick look at what's involved. Okay, so this is our sort of strut and sort of hub assembly here, and our tie rod is this lovely piece of metal here. So I've gone over it with the wire brush already, but the first bit we're going to do is take off this sort of nut on the top here. So I've gone over it with a wire brush and sort of cleaned off all of that excess sort of rust and grime that's built on it over the years. Just cleaned it up nicely. So I believe correct procedure is a 5mm Allen key in there, and then a ratchet spanner on here, well, other way around, to undo. However, they're normally extremely tight, so best bet is just getting sort of a gun on it, really, to be honest, on this one, and just seeing if you can quickly nip it off before this starts to spin. Hopefully you can. If not, at least it will break this free a little bit from the knuckle, so that then you can start with these two. So that's going to be the first port of call, is just getting that nut off the top there. So I've got this on there. Oh, and we're lucky. So the nut that will likely stick in there a little bit. So we're just going to... So that's on there. So that's basically off. So obviously we've got the thread exposed now, but we want to get it to drop out the bottom, and the best way we're going to get to sort of do that is just actually putting this on just a couple of threads again. So you got that on a nice couple of threads, no need to get it on too far. And then the old gravity adjustment tool. There we go. Back up. A couple of nice hits, and that will drop down, and then it just comes undone. Right, so once you've got this out, the next step is going to be this back bit here. Now this is an opposing sort of thread, sort of lock nut, so we have to actually turn it upwards to get it to undo. So I've kept this pin in here, and we're going to turn this one once it hits the maximum bit. There we go. We're going to turn this now to sort of break it away. There we go. So that's freed that up from it. So now the tie rod should spin freely from it, which it does. So
keeping the rod still.
So now that we've broken that away, we should be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 17, 18. There's 18 turns to turn that off. So that is now off. That is our old tie rod off. That was actually nice and easy. Once we broke that lock nut away, it just turned off super easy. So that is that out. So now is our lovely new Fay Auto Parts one. So I believe so this is from APD. So a huge thank you to APD for sorting me out on this again, getting me through the MOTs. It is a huge help. And on this, it's SS062. So if you go onto their APD website, type that part number in, this should be one of the ones that comes up. It's a nice Fay Auto Parts tie rod end, and their parts are sort of, you know, some of the most rated out there for this kind of thing. So we're now going to turn it 18 turns on. So 1, 2, 17, 18. Once you've got the 18 turns, oh, like a stiff tie rod. There we go. Get that on there, and get the new nut just to locate it for now. There we go. Now it's just going to be tightening this back up against it, We're going to turn that again in a moment to lock it in, tighten this one back up, and that is our tie rod done. So let me get that ready. Okay, so we've just got the jack on there, just taking the tension out, so we should be able to do this up with a gun. If you haven't got the tension under there, this is just going to spin and spin and spin. So I'm hoping, there we go, that is enough. There we go. I'll get the torque wrench on it in a moment, but now it's just going to be getting the 22 on this one. And just, it will turn a bit. Locking that against there like that. So that's done up nice and tight on the locking nuts. That's going to lock it in, and we're done up nice and tight on here for it. Okay, so torque setting for this one is 48 Newton meters. So I've set it to 48 Newton meters on the torque wrench. Click. There we go. That's the click we want to hear. So that is that torqued up, and like I said, we've got that tight. So that is our tie rod end done. It's a nice quick 5-minute job. Hopefully saves people some money. They are just a 10-minute job. You just break that away, undo this, count the threads, pop it back in, and it's worth getting the tracking done after, just because, you know, it's never going to be absolutely pinpoint precision perfect. So, you know, some of these new calibration tools are incredible in some places, and these, you know, some of these tyre places. So I'm gonna head off to JD's in Chippenham and get the tracking done. I'm going to do the other end first, but yeah, that's it. Hopefully that helps a few people out. Okay, so just to show what to look for when you're looking for one of these that's gone and knocking. Obviously, the rubber has perished on this one, but there is just way too much movement in there. You can feel it knocking and rumbling around. It grinds, and it can pull in and out. It can do this, it can move in, you know, outside of the orbit, so it's, you know, they can rotate like this, but it can also move a little bit inside there. So that is well and truly foobarred. So, you know, fair play for catching that, if you can hear it. But that is well and truly gone. There is no resistance in there at all, and way too much play. So yeah, glad we got the new one in there. So huge thank you to APD. That is going to get me through the MOT, which I am chuffed about.